Hi everybody, it's Pastor Adam, and today's outdoor devotional comes from the place where you don't want to be in the summer, but sometimes it is what happens. I am sitting outside of a doctor's office because in the summer sometimes you're busy and you get hurt, and all of the fun that you're gonna have just gets wiped out on you. I remember the last week of my freshman year in high school, not a big deal, broke my ankle playing basketball. It meant that I was in a cast all summer. Rather than going to the beach, rather than swimming, rather than having a bunch of fun, hanging out with friends, I sat inside most of the summer because I didn't want my cast to get all sweaty and dirty, and I came back and got to be made fun of because I was all pasty white going back to high school gym class. Yay, high school. Doesn't really matter, wasn't a big deal. But sometimes this is where we end up. It is part of our life. But what happens after? So there is a door behind me, so literally outdoors, when you come out of the medical office, when you walk out of the hospital, when the Lord leads you out of a difficult situation, what's our proper response? Psalm 116 says, I love the Lord, for he heard my voice. I love the Lord. Charles Spurgeon, he once said on a sermon on this passage that love is the surest and sweetest sign of his grace and the sweetest evidence of his salvation, that we would love him back. And why not? Because what is described here, and I encourage you to read all 19 verses of this, is an incredibly difficult trial that the psalmist went through. It says, the cords of death entangled me. The anguish of the grave overcame me. I was overcome by trouble and sorrow. This could have been an illness. We could read this on our hospital bed. We could read this going through something that is mentally taxing and straining. And yet when we're on the other side, when we walk out of a clinic, when we walk outside of a follow-up appointment, what are our words? Lord willing, they are words of gratitude, and we get to express our love for God. Elsewhere, Spurgeon talks about how an answered prayer bonds us to God. We cried out to God. He heard our cry. He took care of us. He helped us. We trust him all the more. Verse 5, the Lord is gracious and righteous. Our God is full of compassion. The Lord protects the simple-hearted. When I was in great need, he saved me. Consider that. What prayers have been answered in your life? And when you walked out of the door in a time of recovery, were you able to say, I love you, Lord, thank you. I love you, Lord, thank you. And then to get to the point of verse 7, to say, be at rest once more, O my soul, for the Lord has been good to you. I think that's a beautiful spot to be at. After a trauma, after a difficulty, after a conflict, after the Lord brings about resolution, we do two things. We express our love to him, and then we allow our soul to rest in him as our heart gets resettled, as our mind gets resettled, as our body gets resettled into the new normal, the new place where we start for the new day, where we find that God's mercies are new every morning. Verse 17, I will sacrifice a thank offering to you, and I will call on the name of the Lord. I will fulfill my vows to the Lord. The Lord's been good to us. The best way to fulfill our vow to him is to keep praying and to keep expressing our love to him for the help that he provided for us.